Welcome to Adeptis Academy. You're about to embark on a journey that will empower you to create software. We'll be your guides using simple language and clear examples. Linux is like the engine of your computer, letting you interact directly through commands. Python is a powerful language that lets you write instructions for your computer. Together, they're an amazing team. Imagine automating tasks, analyzing data, and even building websites. It's all possible with Linux and Python. This guide will give you the foundation to start building your own programs. Get ready to dive in. Let's start coding. Before we begin writing code, let's get familiar with the Linux terminal. Think of it as a direct line to communicate with your computer. No more clicking buttons. Here, you type commands to make things happen. To open the terminal, look for an application called Terminal or Console. You'll see a blank screen with a prompt. This is where the magic happens. Don't be intimidated by the blinking cursor. The terminal is your friend and will guide you every step of the way. Now, let's move on to writing our first Python script. It's time to write your very first Python script. Don't worry, it's a simple one that programmers use to test their setup. We'll create a script that displays the message "Hello World" on your screen. Open a text editor on your Linux system. You can use simple editors like Gedit or Nano. Now type the following line of code into your editor. Print, parenthesis, quotation marks, hello world, quotation marks, parenthesis. This single line of code tells Python to display the text, hello world. Save this file as hello.py. Congratulations, you've just created your first Python script. In the next section, we'll learn how to execute this script using the Linux terminal. Now that you have your hello.py script ready, let's execute it and see the result. Executing a Python script from the terminal is a fundamental skill that every programmer should master. It allows you to run your code directly and see the output immediately, which is incredibly useful for testing and debugging. Head back to your Linux terminal. The terminal is a powerful tool that gives you direct access to your computer's operating system. It's like a command center where you can control almost every aspect of your system. First, you need to tell the terminal where your script is located. This is important because the terminal needs to know the exact path to your script in order to execute it. Use the cd command to navigate to the directory where you saved hello.py. The cd command stands for change directory, and it's used to move between different folders in your file system. For example, if you saved it in a folder called Python_projects on your desktop, you would type cd:/desktop/python_projects. The tilde symbol is a shortcut for your home directory, making it quicker to navigate to commonly used folders. Once you're in the correct directory, you can execute your script using the Python3 command followed by the script's name. This tells the terminal to use Python3 to run your script. So, you would type python3 hello.py and then press enter. Press enter and voila! The terminal will execute your script and display the output. You should see the message "Hello World" displayed in your terminal. This message confirms that your script ran successfully and that Python is working correctly on your system. You've successfully executed your first Python script from the command line. This is a significant milestone in your programming journey. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be running more complex scripts and automating tasks with ease. As you write more Python scripts, it's essential to keep your code organized. This not only helps you find your scripts quickly, but also makes it easier to maintain and update your code over time. A well-organized codebase is crucial for efficient workflow and collaboration, especially if you're working in a team. Imagine having hundreds of scripts scattered across your computer. It would be a nightmare to manage. You'd waste precious time searching for the right file, and the risk of accidentally deleting or misplacing important scripts would be high. This disorganization can lead to frustration and decreased productivity. Create dedicated folders for your Python projects. This is the first step towards a more organized and efficient coding environment. By having a specific place for each project, you can easily locate and manage your files. This practice also helps in keeping your desktop clean and clutter-free. For instance, you could have a folder called My Python Projects on your desktop. This main folder can serve as a central hub for all your Python-related work. Within this folder, you can create subfolders for individual projects, making it easier to navigate through your work. Inside this folder, create separate subfolders for each project you work on. For example, if you're working on a web scraping project, you could have a subfolder named Web Scraping Project. Similarly, for a data analysis project, you could have a subfolder named Data Analysis Project. This way, all related files and scripts are grouped together, making it easier to find and manage them. Give your scripts meaningful names that reflect their purpose. This practice not only helps you remember what each script does, but also makes it easier for others to understand your code. Meaningful names can significantly reduce the time spent searching for specific scripts. Instead of script1.p, use a name like calculate_average.py if it calculates averages. Similarly, if you have a script for data cleaning, name it data_cleaning.p. This way, the file name itself gives a clear indication of the script's functionality. By following these simple organization tips, you'll save yourself a lot of time and effort in the long run. An organized code base not only enhances your productivity, but also makes it easier to collaborate with others. When your code is well organized, you can focus more on writing quality code rather than spending time searching for files. So, take a few extra minutes to organize your code today and enjoy a smoother, more efficient coding experience. Writing code is just one part of programming. Testing your code is equally important to make sure it works correctly. In Python, we can use a module called unitest to write tests for our scripts. Let's say you have a script that adds two numbers. You can write a test to check if the script produces the expected output for different inputs. If the test fails, it means there's an error in your code that needs fixing. Testing might seem tedious at first, but it's crucial for catching errors early on and ensuring your code is reliable. Even experienced programmers encounter errors in their code. It's a natural part of the development process and can happen to anyone, regardless of their skill level. Errors are not a sign of failure, but an opportunity to learn and improve. The Linux terminal often displays error messages when something goes wrong. These messages are generated by the system to help you understand what went wrong and where. These messages might seem cryptic at first, but they provide valuable clues for debugging. Each error message is like a puzzle piece that, when put together, can lead you to the solution. Don't panic when you see an error message. Staying calm and composed is the first step to effectively addressing the issue. Take a deep breath and prepare to tackle the problem methodically. Read it carefully. It usually tells you the type of error, the line number where it occurred, and a brief explanation. This information is crucial for diagnosing the problem. For example, a syntax error means you have a typo in your code, such as a missing parenthesis or an extra comma. These are usually straightforward to fix once you identify the mistake, while a name error indicates you're using a variable that hasn't been defined. This could be due to a typo in the variable name or forgetting to declare the variable before using it. Learning to interpret error messages is a crucial skill for any programmer. It not only helps in fixing the current issue, but also enhances your problem-solving skills, making you a more proficient coder in the long run. Remember, every error message is a stepping stone towards becoming a better programmer. We've only scratched the surface of what you can do with Linux commands. As you become more comfortable with the terminal, you can explore more advanced commands. For instance, the command lists files in a directory, creates new directories, and deletes files. These commands give you fine-grained control over your files and folders. The more Linux commands you learn, the more efficient you'll become at navigating and managing your system. Congratulations on taking your first steps into the world of programming with Linux and Python. You've learned how to write a simple Python script, execute it in the terminal, organize your code, and even handle errors. This is just the beginning of your programming journey. There's so much more to explore. From building websites to creating games, the possibilities are endless. Embrace the learning process. Don't be afraid to experiment, and remember to have fun along the way. Happy coding!